2 weeks ago, we left right after church on our annual Rocky Mountain vacation. We kind of have a system. We do pretty much the same thing every year. We like it very much. And we drive to Ogallala, eat at the Pizza Hut, and get up the next day and drive on into Estes and get on with the mountain business. That's what we do. We just rolled in on Monday morning to Estes Park. We'd gone by to see where our youngest son Philip is working. Had a nice little chat with him. He was able to sell me some mountain gear. And then we sat down to have lunch. We hadn't even got to the condo yet. We were having some lunch. And I got this text. You know, our grandson, Jude, Caleb and Ashley's son. We've known he's had, some health issues for the past year, and going to doctors and specialists and hospitals and all kinds of scans and this and that and GIs and trying to find out what's wrong with him. And that whole process had continued, and we had ordered, and we were sitting there just happy as a lark, and waiting for lunch to come. And I got this text from Caleb. Another long day at the hospital. Did not receive a good report. Doctors found a large mass behind his liver. Of course, the immediate concern is that it is a cancerous tumor gone undetected for the last year. CT scan scheduled. Well, that'll ruin your vacation. A day or so went by, and the report was this. They had found diagnosed it as a neuroblastoma tumor. I didn't know anything about a neuroblastoma tumor, but when I heard that, I didn't like the sound of it. We're already on our way back, back here. Perry and I, of course, reacted in two opposite ways. And Perry's initial reaction is she didn't want to know anything about neuroblastoma. Me, I want to know everything about it. And so I'm staying up late doing research, reading. I've got like a PhD on neuroblastoma tumors if you want to have a conversation about them. And everything I was learning about them was not good. Not good. Finally, we got this report, neuroblastoma stage 3 cancer. I already knew what that meant when I got that report, and so I was devastated. That means you treat it very aggressively with lots of chemo, and chemo and little children do not mix. I mean, nobody likes chemo, but for 2-year-old children still in development, it's very detrimental to their future health. And even then, with a stage 3 neuroblastoma, you have about a 40% chance of survival at best. And so we're just rocked by this. And we began praying, and we told you, and I confided in some of my close friends. And my good friend, I love my good friend. I'm going to have him in here so you get to know him a little better next month. But my good friend Joe Beach, pastor of Amazing Grace Church, Denver, Colorado. We like a lot of the same things. Usually we're studying the same kind of theology. Well, without me even saying anything to him, as soon as he heard that little Jude had a neuroblastoma, he's already studying it. And so we would get on the phone and we would talk about it, and we said, well, what we need to pray is that this thing, in fact, has become a ganglioneuroblastoma and can be removed. And we talked about it, so we just started praying and praying and praying. And what I want to tell you is that over the past week, it seems like every prayer we have offered has been answered. Every prayer. So last week we were here. We weren't supposed to be here, but we were here, and we prayed for Jude, and I asked you to pray, and I told you about Dr. St. Peter going to operate on him. Well, Monday he went in for a 3-hour operation that was 5.5 hours long. We'd walked with little Jude to the operating room, giving him a kiss, and sent him into the hands of the doctors. And when you're thinking it's going to be a 3-hour surgery, and it's 5.5 hours. I mean, it's like a lifetime. You age a lifetime during that. And the surgery was very difficult. At one point, they called in a liver transplant surgeon to assist, and there was some talk because of the tumor's involvement with the liver that he would have to have an emergency liver transplant. It was kind of an epic surgical ordeal. Dr. St. Peter said, if I had known how risky, how difficult, how almost impossible this surgery was, I would never have attempted it. We would just said it can't be done, leave the tumor in there, treat it as best you can with chemotherapy. But he'd got so far into it, there was no turning back. He said this to us. Remember how we prayed for him? St. Peter said this. I just call him St. Peter. I don't even do the doctor, just St. Peter. St. Peter said, I was operating well beyond my ability. I was operating far better than I can. He said, and he likes football analogies, he said, it was so difficult, so hard, so impossible, I threw a Hail Mary and got a touchdown. And they got the whole tumor out, got that whole blasted tumor out, and, you know, put him back together. It's a very arduous surgery for a human being to go through. But then we're waiting for the pathology and for the bone marrow, report to come, and we're waiting. Is it 3 to 7 days? Oh, well, thank you very much. We got to wait 3 to 7 days. Okay, whatever. And the surgery was on Monday, and then he was in ICU, and we're visiting him in ICU. And the first time we went in to see him in ICU, it was just for all of us, I think maybe especially for Caleb. And Caleb and Ashley, my gosh, they've been champions through this. I'm so proud of them. Their faith has been so strong. I don't know how they've done it. I don't know how they've just physically endured. But he was in ICU, and it was just so traumatic to see him like that, on a respirator and everything. But then we're waiting. He's getting a little better, but we're waiting for this report. And Thursday, was it Thursday, Perry? It's all a blur to me now. Thursday, Perry wasn't at home, and I was there by myself, and I was working on a song. I was learning a song. I was learning Hey Jude. Because Jude may be my only real fan. Usually I start playing my guitar and singing songs and the room empties. But Jude likes it, and he'll stand there and listen. And so he'll try to play along. He'll start strumming the guitar. So, okay, we'll both play the guitar, and he likes it. And I sing to him Forever Young and things like that, and he likes it. And so I thought, well, and I always joke about him being Hey Jude, so I thought I'll learn this song for him. And it was kind of therapeutic for me, so I'm learning Hey Jude. Don't make it bad. Take a sad song, make it better. And when you feel the pain, Hey Jude, refrain. Don't try to carry the world on your shoulders. So I'm learning this song. By the way, I've learned that I've come much closer to pulling off a Dylan song than I do a Beatles song. Those are way harder. But I'm trying to find the key, and I'm learning the chords, trying to memorize the lyrics. I'm just kind of, I'm thinking, okay, I want to sing this for Jude someday. Not for you, don't get your hopes up, for Jude. And so I'm working on this song and trying to get the chords down and learn it. And my phone rings. Caleb usually, he's at the hospital 24/7. I mean, literally, they haven't left. They've been with Jude for 2 weeks solid. And he almost always just sends texts, but my phone rang, and it was Caleb. And they'd got the report, the pathology report. It's in. And cancer-free. No cancer. No cancer. No cancer. And because it had become exactly as we'd prayed, it had become a blasted neuroma, ganglio, whatever it was. Whatever it needed to be is what it was. And the way you treat it is you get it out. And they couldn't have got it out. If they had known how difficult it was, they wouldn't have even tried, but they didn't know, and they got in there and threw a Hail Mary and it was touchdown, and they got it out, and now he needs no chemo. All he has to do is recover from the surgery, which is no small task. He was what? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He's 4 days in ICU. Now he's in a regular room, but he's still weak as a kitten. I told the first service, I said he still hadn't smiled. He hadn't smiled. And I got a text from Ashley. He did smile once. This morning he smiled once. We'll go see him. I'll go see him. I'll sing Hey Jude, and he'll smile again. But I'll show you a picture. This is what a hard week looks like. That's poor little Jude. I mean, that's just like, man, can you imagine going through that as an adult? Try doing that as a 2-year-old, but there he is. But anyway, we got that news. All he has to do is recover from the surgery, and he can come home and grow up and live to be 111 and tell funny stories about his crazy grandpa. Amen. Amen. And so, Perry came home and she was a basket case. I mean, just crying. And we didn't know what to do, how to celebrate. We're telling people, calling our friends, and we don't know what to do. And we just sat out on the deck. And I just sat out there and worked on that dang song just all night long. Just, hey, Jude, don't make it bad. And so I just thought, I'm not going to sing, but I said, worship team, let's at least do that no, hey, Jude part, all right? So it's like I want you to celebrate with me. You're my friend. Stand up and give me a little hey, Jude.